All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sarasu Seti. Kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepted members to not only the Sarasu Seti YouTube page, but the General Seti YouTube page, two dynamic powerhouse institutions on YouTube giving you nothing but black power, black divinity. I want you to subscribe immediately. I want you to become a member. The link for the membership right down in the video description is in the chat. Click it. You get a video introduction, run down on the memberships, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join. Even if you don't, I appreciate your presence here at the Sarasun Seti General Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. The General got a new website on Teachable, uploading a lot of dynamic curriculums, powerhouse programs, certificate courses. First one up, 25 steps to the redemption of definitive black manhood just for your brother. Gonna get you together, uplift you into your godship, to your kingship. Is for you. Get over there, check out that curriculum, check out the program. Also comes with the Brotherhood of Heru Roundtable live stream once a week, where the brothers sit down and discuss very important, powerful information pertinent to their growth and development. Is nothing like it for your family. Get over there, check it out. Ring the alarm, KingSeti.com, online marketplace official. General Sarasun Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor accessories for every room in the house. I got something for your family. I know you're going to like it and love it. Get over there, check out that catalog, get a discount, shop and save and shop. Pull the fire alarm, GeneralSeti.com, Seti University, over 2,500 videos, 40 different subjects, all the subjects that you know and love, from the General Olmec voyages of the Nile, when Egypt ruled the earth, from Naga to nigger, African origins of the Hindu Kush, Black Illuminati, hip-hop Holocaust, Christianity, Judaism, Islam exposed, Black woman is God, making of the white man not another website nowhere on the planet that could compare, compete, become a member today. And everybody knows Seti popping on Patreon. We got that fire dropping today. Right after this, we're on our cosmological lectures today. And so right after the Easter, wait a minute, let me get it up here. Let me get it up here. Wait a minute. No, that ain't the one I want. That ain't the one I want. That's not the day. That's not the day. That's not the day. Let me get it up here. Today. That's right. Where's the ancient Egyptian heaven? We're going to fall right on in. We're in our cosmological, astrological theology tonight. So I want you in the house right after the Easter presentations. We're going right in. We're going to drop heavy mental, opening it up, man. We're just going to stay in the cosmos, mapping out our history in the stars. It's going to be a beautiful thing, family. To all those that donated, thank you. For those that want to donate, link right in the chat. Click it, donate. I appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels: King Seti, General Seti, Sarasu Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share with your family and friends, and comment. Just don't say nothing stupid, because I will ban your ass. So I know you didn't have all your Easter eggs. You didn't have all you didn't got your little Easter basket, had your Easter suit on and everything. You got your Easter suit. You went got your Nile later gators, and you know how y'all niggas do. Get your Nile later gators, all different flavors. Church and everything, sending every day of the week of the year, and then motherfucker go and praise the Lord on Easter. You know how do you niggas do? Nigga got to put that $300 together, go down to what's that suit warehouse? Yeah, your men's warehouse. Get you one of them two for buy one get three free. Cheap ass suits and shit. Motherfucker can't even if you try to flex your back, that motherfucker split down the middle. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, whole family. We back in the house, family. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And so where did we leave off this time? Let me see. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this out. Okay. And so today I'm gonna get on Good Friday by itself. I'm gonna get on Good Friday by itself. But see, in the occult understanding, we know this is solar worship. You see, when you see the death of the sun, they always show you the sun going down. The sun is setting. But see, the symbol is that the cross ain't nothing but a misdirection. You see, it's something that is a veil. See, and if you don't understand that, you see those who have a deeper understanding, they're gonna look past the cross. Some niggas that just surface nigga, they're gonna look at the cross. Those that on a deeper look level, they're gonna look past the cross. They're gonna look at the cross. They're gonna look past the cross, because when they look past the cross, they're gonna see the deeper meaning. They're gonna see the understanding of the deeper meaning. They ain't venerating them because they put it there to let you know, goddamn it, we created the astro, the anthropomorphic, where you worshiping man. You want to worship the man. You see, you want to believe that a man could rot, could die, could rot in the goddamn tomb for three days, body rotted and shit, and he could raise up out the goddamn grave in a rotten body. You see, walking around looking like a goddamn zombie or something. That's what you want to believe, but that's just not the reality. It just ain't gonna work. See, they didn't understand the reality of the spiritual mythos, the Christos, where it's not your physical reality that resurrect, is your spiritual, your soul resurrect. You understand? In the afterlife. Your physical resurrection is in your children. That's the only way you coming back. You not coming back. The only way you gonna physically resurrect is through your children. That's the only way. And so believing that a man gonna go into the tomb and die and you got to stop this shit. You understand? When I ain't never seen it happen once, that's God that did it. Yeah, well, goddamn it, God was praying to his father that please let this cup passeth away from me. If God was God, if he was God, he should have been able to do it his goddamn self. He didn't do it. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He was a man. And he said, I'm the son of man. So you have to understand, y'all got this shit twisted. But see, they give you the anthropomorphic story so that you do not connect to the cosmos. See, you run around praying to a man, and that man is controlled by the priesthood, the pastor, the imam, the rabbi. You see, they control that image just like a goddamn puppet. You see, when they got the Muppet, and I show y'all that. Do I got my God deception up in here? Yeah, let me get the God deception. I'm gonna have to mix this in here. Let me see if I got the God deception in here. Let me see if I can get the God deception in here. I don't know why it's not popping up. Boy, my computer acting stupid today. That's all right. But anyway, I'll keep moving with this one. If I could have got my God deception up there, my computer, it just acting real. It's saying they probably on here trying to shut me down. You see, they on here trying to shut me down, but that's all right. And so again, you're venerating, you ain't venerating, they let you know through the occult symbolism. You see the sun in the back. The sun is setting. Not no damn the S-O-N. That's anthropomorphic. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I mean, yeah, anthropomorphic. You see, but the real worship is the solar worship. You see, goddamn it, the sun come, and if it don't resurrect tomorrow, your ass is done. Everything in the damn universe, the galaxy is over with. You can't live one day without the resurrection of the sun. You can live if Jesus don't never come back. You'll wake up tomorrow. You see, that sun don't resurrect tomorrow morning and rise again. Your ass is done for. We all done for. This is a solar-centered galaxy. Okay, this is a solar system. And see, we think that, they say, well, said he's a pagan. He's going against the Bible and this, that. But didn't it say that God created the universe? Then, goddamn it, then it's a divine science. And so if God put the order together, then when we speak to the cosmos and we speak to the stars, it should be right and exact. It should not contradict anything. Because that which is created by God, which is the cosmos, should be in sequence with any and everything that's righteous. It should not be in contradiction. So if he was truly, it should be in unison and with the cosmos. And if it's not in unison with the cosmos, it's out of order. Everything that's been created in the universe been given an order. And we just saying God for people that because we don't want to blow their mind and shit. You see, it's an order and everything. The sun has an order. 300 is in its relationship with the earth. A solar year for the earth, the revolution of the earth around the sun is 365 days in 1/4 day. 365 in 1/4 day. That's what it is. So, that's an order. That's an order. The moon, I think it's 28 days. It takes 28 days for, is it the earth around, the moon around the earth? Okay. It takes 28 days for the moon to revolve around the earth. That's an order. It don't change. It's exact. That's how this universe is moving. Everything in this galaxy is revolving around the sun. And so, this is how they are. And this is the 365-day calendar created, solar calendar, created by the ancient Egyptians. They created the lunar calendar where they were the ones that actually created it because the Africans had to been doing the research thousands and thousands of years before the Egyptians even came into existence. They were the inheritors of the science. They were and they took it to the height, but it was already mastered when they got it. The Egyptians was the first one that documented it in a modern calendar where you could see the sun moving through the days. And so I seen it myself on the walls of Egypt. You see, you can see the calendar, the 30-day calendar, and you'll see each day and you will see the sun move through the days. You see the 30 days, and that's what you get. You get 12 30-day months, and then at the end of that, you will have 5 sacred days at the end of the 12. You have a sacred month of 5 days at the end of the 12 30-day months. Okay, and so this was the first. And the one you on today is the same one the ancient Egyptians had mapped out. Okay, everybody else has taken from that calendar. Nobody else been here long enough and can document where they was doing that type. It was not something that you could come up with in a day, in a year. You understand? Even in 1,000 years. This took, it takes a lot. It takes writing. It takes, you have to document this. You can't just you had to actually be doing astronomy to document this. You got to mark the seas. You got to mark the stars. You got to actually count this out day for day. And you have to see it years in and years out so that you could feel secure that the science is right and exact. You see, you have to do it in. So they did that and gave us the world's first 365 in 1/4 day. And so that's what it is. This is what, this is how we live our lives based on cosmological sequences, our relationship with the stars, with the constellations and the moon. That's how we live our life. Our agriculture is sequenced to that. Our very lives are are based on that. If we don't understand when the seasons occur, and so we can't guess it, because if we guess, we might miss, and if we miss, then we could lose, and if we lose, we could starve, and that could be the extinction of the race. And so now when we talk about Good Friday, and we understand that that is the day, if they say it's the day of Venus, some say it's Frigga, and all of these are nothing but knockoff deities of Isis. You see, that's what it is. That's all. Isis is the supreme goddess in the ancient world, no rival. Aset is the supreme goddess of the ancient world, no rival. Nobody can verify that such a goddess was venerated on such a level. You understand what I'm saying? Documented all over the walls, temples, every other goddess. Yes, they don't have the temples. They don't have the spiritual books that's been written to this goddess. They have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And because Egypt was the mightiest civilization in the ancient world, lasting over 3,000 years and longer than that, it was 3,000 years dynastic. It still existed before that. It was in separate kingdoms, you see. And then you can even go up in Nubia, where the very symbols of the dynastic civilization of Egypt, the symbols were already present in Nubia thousands of years before even Egypt. You see, before even Egypt. So when we talk about spring equinox, that Isis is looked at as the goddess of fertility. And when you talk about her husband Osiris, is the first documented anthropomorphic god that resurrected from the dead. Is that right? Before Jesus, before any of them, before Dionysus, who was the other one where they didn't actually resurrect? Dionysus may have Balder in the Nordic mythology. Dionysus, who else went? But it's others that that they call the crucified saviors. Achilles was one of them. I believe Hermes was one of them. One who went to the underworld and came back up. So it wasn't just Jesus. So when you talk about them, people don't want. Hercules was one of those deities that went to the underworld and was in return. Not everybody can say that. It's only a few gods that were able, because if you even when you watch the cartoon Hercules, you will see when his girlfriend, she died and he went to the underworld to retrieve her. You see, and he did retrieve her, but he went to the underworld and returned. So Jesus is not the first God that went to the underworld and returned. You see, and so people say, oh, it's similar, but it's not the same. It's the same. It don't have to be the same. The concept is the same. You didn't flip the script. You didn't remixed it. You see, you didn't remix it. It happens all the time. So, it's very significant that we understand, and I might have to do a part 3 to this because it's going to get deep, you see. And so when you talk about Friday, which is Venus and which is Isis, but on the deeper level is Isis. And so, but we'll deal with it that in the consciousness of these people right here that created it, Venus was the goddess in which they venerated. And people don't know how close Jesus and Venus is. You think that Venus is some pagan goddess and that Jesus Christian God, but a lot of the symbolisms are the same and people don't understand that. Just like, people say, well, damn, why is the dolphin sacred to Jesus? You see, why is the dolphin sacred to Jesus? But a lot of people don't know that the dolphin is also sacred to Venus. Yeah. Also, the dove. Wait a minute. The dove too. The dove is sacred to Venus long before Mary and so you see a lot of these goddess and gods they run to, the symbolisms run together and you don't know which one is, who had it first. But if you understand the story of Venus, she ride on a chariot pulled by doves. You see, and so it's sacred. So before the Holy Ghost and all of this, and another thing that's sacred to Venus, that's also sacred to Jesus, is the shell, the seashell, because they say what Venus was born out of a seashell, and they show her standing on a seashell. And then you go into the Catholic Church, and you can see also that they venerate the seashell. Let me get that out of there. Let me get that. You see them baptized in the seashell. You see what I'm saying? You can see when they get the water. Ain't that the Pope? That's the Pope. Yeah, that's his ugly ass. You see how what they baptized with the seashell. And then you go back to Venus and you see Venus in the seashell, you see Mary in the sea. So you see that the some of that Greco-Roman mythology carried over into Christianity. See, and so you got to when you see something somewhere, that don't mean that's where it began. That don't mean that's where it began. So, a lot of time the tradition, just like I just did not too long ago about the ladybug. The ladybug is also a variation of the Kepara. We used to always say the ladybug was good luck. It was good luck. We didn't know that was the Kepara. That the Kepara, the science of the Kepara, followed us from Africa over here, kept some of the same traits, same characteristics, same storyline. Yeah, we didn't know that, but it's true. And so, you can see it right here that they venerate the seashell. That's significant because you have to understand when they put these holidays on a particular day. You know what I'm saying? When they put these holidays on a particular day, it's something special. They don't do that for no reason. That's just like Thanksgiving is on a Thursday. That's Thor's Day. You see, that's sacred to Thor, and and people don't understand that the Santa Claus is nothing but a veneration of Thor. And you see, and so that's the only major holiday that falls on Thursday. See, Sunday, Easter got to fall on a Sunday. It got to fall on a Sunday. They're going to make sure it's a Sunday. That's solar worship. You see, and so, and that's very significant that Good Friday was on Venus, which is, that's the primordial goddess. That's what they trying to show you, that is not only the sun, but the primordial goddess is also, and because this is supposedly a spring festival, you got to have the goddess. You see what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be no birth. It ain't no goddess. So they got to have the goddess in here. But the symbolism of him dying, instead of, when you think of Friday, you thinking of the goddess, you thinking of Isis, you would think this would be a day of birth. It's no death. It should be no death in the spring mythos. It should not be no death in the spring mythos. That mythos in which they trying to run down on us is actually the mythos of the winter solstice. So they lying to you. They lying to you. They want to feed you death. That's what they want, and they want to make you. And if you believe that a man rose from the grave, and you don't understand, it's the sun, it's the solar rebirth. The spring has, and life is now blooming on the planet. That's what it is. It got nothing to do with no damn man coming out no damn tomb, rotten and body corroded and shit. You believe that? You a fool. You see? So everything that you talking about. Now, another thing that you see, let me drop this. When we talk about the Easter basket, Y'all don't even know nothing about that. Well, you know what? First and foremost, I'm gonna do this. You see, now when you talk about now, put that in there, the egg in the basket. See, the egg, especially when they put the golden egg in there. See, the egg is symbolic of the sun. Okay, that's also solar worship. You see, that's also solar worship. You know, and we'll get into the goose that laid the golden egg. And you get in there knowing that you talking that the goose is also the great mother. You see, that laid the egg of creation. You see, and when the egg crack open, that's the beginning of time, and the yolk inside of the egg is symbolic of the sun. And so the egg crack open, and the sun is born into the world. And so what you have to understand when they talk about Jesus in the manger, see, Jesus, which is the sun, which is the S-U-N, Jesus in the manger is no different than the egg in the basket. You see, but you got to understand that it's the golden egg, but any egg in that instance is symbolic of the sun. Okay, it's symbolic of the sun. And you'll see here, you can see here that the yolk and so on and so forth, symbolic of the sun, and then you got the splatter. What is that? The white, and which is symbolic of the aura. You see the aura of the sun. So the egg has always been symbolic of, and see, even in the occult, the dragon egg. You see the dragon egg, the solar egg, because just like the rabbit, and you know, just like the rabbit, the dragon is a zoo type of the sun. That's what it is. Okay, he's a soul. So when you look at Heru, you know, the solar deity of ancient Egypt, and you see he's coming up out of the egg, and then you see right there what they call the Orphic egg. This is creation. The egg is symbolic of the primordial creation of the first time. And so each year at spring, we celebrate that very first beginning of creation. And so it happens over and over and over. So spring is the rebirth of the S-U-N, not no damn Jesus Christ. This is how they done tricked you into worshiping man instead of worshiping the cosmos, the creation. So here it is. So now it show you. Now you in here, instead of you understanding, and you're always going to see you got to look past the Serapis. See, you got to look past the Serapis. You will see the sun behind his head, you know, and when you understand the reality, the power of the sun, when you look at anything in any religion, to understand what is divine and what's not divine, what is holy and what is not holy, you will see a halo behind the head of anything holy in any religion. And that comes from ancient Egypt. If it does not have a halo, then it's not considered to be holy. So it is, the sun is what makes a thing holy. That's a fact. That's a fact. This is solar mythos, but it's been hidden behind the worship of the anthropomorphic Serapis, the anthropomorphic symbolisms that hide the truth. They don't want you to connect to the sun. They don't want you to connect to the cosmos, because if you connect, then you're going to realize you don't need religion. You ain't going to need the pastor, the priest, the imam. You can connect you. Nobody controls your connection to the cosmos. When you understand that you could connect at any time, you do not need nobody's permission to do that. You see, so you always had, you always had the connection. It's been turned off. You didn't know somebody that went in your mind, tricked you, you didn't flip the switch. It's not on. Now you got to go back in there and flip the switch. You got to turn it back on, so you can understand the reality of your divinity. And so even when you look at, listen, watch me work. Now, they always talking about he resurrected, right? But when you look at it, you can see that it's always a womb in which he read. That's the tomb he supposedly came. Well, actually, yes, it is when he came out of hell. But it show you it's a womb. And if you look at the egg, it's almost in the symbol of the egg. So the egg is a cocoon, which is a tomb, which is a womb. You see, the cocoon, which is a cocoon, which is a tomb, not a tomb in the sense that you like, but a tomb as a cocoon. You see, a cocoon where you incubating inside of there until it's time. And once it's time, then it cracks open. You see, and he comes out. So you can see that the Jesus resurrected. You can see, but I say, look beyond the image now. Look beyond. Don't look at the image because they're gonna trick you. You got to look beyond the image because the true symbol is beyond the image. You see the womb and you see the sun. Now, if I showed you that from the very beginning, when I showed you Nu and Ra, you can see Ra being born through the womb of Nu, and you can see the symbols of water. That's why Ra, the ark or the bark of Ra, he sails on the celestial Nile. You see, so the sun came in the primeval time, was born out of water. The sun came up out the water. They say in the beginning, it was darkness on the face of the deep. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. You see what I'm saying? So the first thing was the deep, the primeval deep. And out of the primeval deep came the sun, came light. You see, we working tonight now. We're going to work. And so you can see right here, you can see here, we're on here now. You can see, this too hooty, but symbolic. You see my eye up there. But this is Ra over here. You can see him sailing on the celestial Nile. So you understand this is solar method. So it show you that the sun came up out of the primeval waters. Came up out of the primeval water. So when you start looking at all these mythos, springtime water, you'll see the rabbit. Let me get over here. You'll see the rabbit. It's a zoo type of solar mythos. So when you see the rabbit, if you don't know it, you will say, oh man, that's a rabbit. You want to know what the fuck going on. This is solar mythos. And you will see the rabbit. They'll show you you will see up here where they'll show you the rabbit coming out the water and shit. What the fuck is a rabbit? See, you don't understand that the rabbit is only a zoomorphic symbol of the sun. And this is the primeval first time when the sun rose up out of the water. Okay. And so his life. So this is why the rabbit or the hare is connected to spring and that's not the only, it's a lot of zoomorphic symbols of the sun. Anytime you see the cow is one of the zoomorphic symbols of the sun. Anytime you see that solar disc over the head, that's one of the solar zoo types connected to the sun. You see, and so yeah, this is and I showed you this one too. You see, I showed you that one already. The sun. Let me go right here. So again, showing you the rabbit, and you see, and so let me come down here. Let me come down here, making sure I touch all things today. Make sure I touch all things today. Now, we already did the Passover, but no, let me touch back on that. Because this is blood sacrifice. You see what I'm saying? Now you're getting into the rudimentary level of man. You know what I'm saying? With motherfucker, you got blood sacrifice and shit. This shit ain't got nothing to do with us at all. You know what I'm saying? This is the low level thinking, because once you understand the Passover ain't got nothing to do with no motherfucking sacrificing no lambs and none of that shit. You understand? If you want to sacrifice a lamb, that's your own ceremony. Man created the ceremony. No God handed no man no ceremony. He did that himself. Now, the Passover of the sun, that's cosmological order. You see, that's been here since day one of creation. So that ain't got nothing but the ceremony is man. So God ain't told no man to go take no lamb blood and put it, but it's symbolisms. You see, they started to learn a little something, but they didn't know. They not connected. You see, they ain't got no soul. They don't have a soul. You see what I'm saying? And so you had to be connected to the soul law to have a soul. So because they can't connect on that level, everything they do is on some old, move down, it's a animalistic level, the blood and shit. That's an animalistic level, that God would have you sacrifice for what? For what? Why would God have you sacrifice and say sacrifice for what? What that gonna do for God? To sacrifice a goddamn lamb? And that's you believing that is a man up and not understand that our creation in sum total is what we call God. And there's a negative and there's a positive. And over the course of creation, anomalies have arisen within creation that have no connection to the primeval first time. They don't have no, which that mean they don't have a soul. They are a creature. They are born. They're here, but they don't have no mythos that takes them to the first time. You see, people just see them come out of nowhere. They're missing certain elements that the cosmos require. You see, you in a solar center galaxy, but you don't have melanin. Something ain't right. Most everything in its own sequence in time, wherever it originated, it has all it needs to prevail in its own environment. You see what I'm saying? It has all that it needs to prevail. Why don't these things have the element or the elements of necessary for survival? It's lacking something. You see what I'm saying? It's lacking melanin. It's lacking this. It's lacking the hair, the eyes, the bone structure, and all of that to be in the soul. So they had to go in the areas of the anomaly. They had to go hide in the cave. They got to go hide in the cold. They got to go do this, that, and the third. And so they don't have the connection to just deal with it from the cosmological level, which is the reality of the story. The anthropomorphic level is for motherfuckers that cannot connect, and they don't have no other choice but to deal with it, but on the anthropomorphic level. Jesus the man. I got to believe in Jesus. I got to go cut this lamb up and put the blood over the doorway. That's animalistic level. They ain't connected to that's why they sequences is all off. You see, they sequences is all off. You see, and so again, and the thing is, with the Passover, people got to understand that God supposedly, murdered all the firstborn of Egypt. So this is a genocide, and when you look at it, this is some old genocide. They don't even connect on the cosmological level. They celebrating that God done murdered our babies and murdered the firstborn and put plagues on us and shit. You see, put plagues on us. This is what the Passover is. So when you look at the animalistic level storyline for Good Friday, it don't add up because he damn sure it wasn't in the ground for no 3 days. Ain't no man gonna resurrect from no tomb. And his body, if your ass been dead, goddamn it, rigor mortis, you stink. Motherfucker laying up, he been dead, goddamn, you open that motherfucker gonna stink. That's just all it is to it. So the Passover again, animalistic level. Good Friday, animalistic level. It's not adding up. Y'all done took the winter solstice and you done superimposed it over the spring equinox. There is no death in the spring equinox festival. This is life. Life has sprung anew. So they didn't kidnap a lot of these holidays. which are cosmological holidays to confuse you, to kidnap your spirituality, spiritual imprisonment. You see, spiritual imprisonment instead of seeing how you align to these stars. And that's why it's so important for us to know, where's the ancient Egyptian heaven? What was the constellation? Because the history is synchronized to the astrotheology. You see, and so when you study the stars, you understand what I'm saying? It's gonna correlate to the great eras of our history. You see, and so that ain't got nothing to do with them, because the majority of the stars that are so venerated in all religions are in the southern hemisphere. We are not expecting no Cro-Magnon Neanderthal that is in the furthest northern regions of the planet in the cave would have any access to a solar mythos, Sirius, one of the most venerated stars in all of religion. The star Sirius, that's in the southern hemisphere. You see, a matter of fact, the creation of the galaxy is in the southern hemisphere. So which means that those who are below the equinox, the equator, have a greater access to seeing these stars that are so critical and sacred to the African origins, of spirituality. And when we talk about the Milky Way in the southern hemisphere, they saying that black hole in the southern what they call the Milky Way is where this galaxy was born. That's very significant. The ancient Egyptians, so when you look at Newt and you will see that arch down in the Milky Way, they knew tens of thousands of years ago. When you look at Ra being born through the womb of Newt, this is actually the primeval first time when the sun came through the black hole of the Milky Way. See, they ain't, come on, man, let's talk about this shit. They didn't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about it now. They don't know nothing about it. They just trying to catch up now. And it's only not in, because the thing is, you got to see it. It's one thing, okay, the Africans laid it out. And you go through it. You can only see it on paper. You have not seen it in real time. See, it's one thing to see it on paper. It's another thing to see it in real time. Our people seeing these constellations, just like the Dogon. When they seen Sirius B, they couldn't understand. How could they see Sirius B without the telescope? Well, goddamn it, we didn't been around the great year. We done been around the 24,000 year of the sun's revolution around the greater sun. You understand what I'm saying? And so we were in a particular alignment where Sirius B was the front star. Today, Sirius A is the front star. But as we travel around the 360-degree revolution of the earth around the sun and the sun around its greater sun, we are going to a position where Sirius B will be the front star. You see what I'm saying? So if you say 360, 180 on the other side, you see Sirius B will be the front star. So we saw it with the naked eye because we did the whole 360-degree around the great year. We saw it with the naked eye. So it takes time, and they ain't got that goddamn kind of time. They only been on the planet historically 2,000 years. So a goddamn one era is 12. When you talk about 24,000 years, one zodiac house is 1,200 years. So 1,200 times 12, 24. So if you only been out 2,000 years, you ain't even, and you wasn't doing no calculations into the last 300 years. You see what I'm saying? You ain't even been doing no calculations. So you ain't in no position. The only thing y'all motherfuckers is doing is looking at the records that the Africans have already documented, and you're trying, but you cannot understand it because the only way you can understand it is to live it. You have to see it with your naked eye, and you have to record it when you see it, and you got to come around again to make sure you've seen it right, and then you got to come around again to make sure that this is correct. At least 3 fucking times to get a pattern. At least 3 times to get a pattern. And these motherfuckers ain't even been around one goddamn Zodiac house. Make that make sense. That's why this shit don't make. We got to understand this, family. But look past, I'm trying to tell you, look, you got to understand. And so occultism is necessary, because occultism is the veil to hide it from the profane. Motherfuckers today, and that's, you could tell if you could tell it and fuck the white man head up. He don't know where all his shit animalistic. All his shit is animalistic. Passover, blood of Jesus nailed to a cross, blood, everything is a blood sacrifice. You know, man nailed stuck in the guy, and some of that is, but is anthropomorphic. The majority, animalistic. Majority of the motherfuckers in the world is studying the animalistic veil that been put over it. They don't have no understanding of the astrotheology of these holidays. And so let me see. Let me make sure I've exhausted my understanding of those aspects. And so we'll get, I could really do Good Friday to cap it off. You know what I'm saying? I could do Good Friday to cap it off. The hair, you see the hair coming out of the water, jumping up out of the water, and so that's the sun, the primeval first time. But the rabbit is symbolic of the sun. Look past the rabbit. You see the sun back there. Look past the rabbit. See, the layers is going, and so the deeper man gonna understand that. Checking all the symbols out. What is the real symbol? And so the average Joe on the animalistic level, he gonna look at the rabbit. So motherfucker Easter bunny and the egg, and they're gonna say, but it's deeper than just fertility. It's deeper than just fertility. You see what I'm saying? This is dealing with the first time, primeval first time. Yes, it is fertility, but it's deeper than that. Can't just go there. You see, but they ain't gonna want you to go there because that's solar mythos, and you're not supposed to be interacting with the cosmos. Because when you interact with the cosmos and you understand, you could connect without having to go through religion, priest, imam, rabbi, that's going to cut them out the goddamn game. And then you going to break the chains of spiritual imprisonment, enslavement on your mind. And from that point, you going to be free. You're going to be free from that point on. And so, family, I appreciate y'all coming out here today. We ain't done. We gonna step on over here. We got a couple more. We gonna do these. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do the Good Friday, which wasn't good for Jesus. Wasn't good for Jesus, but they call it Good Friday. And the irony, that's just like the days of the months. You know what I mean? The chronological order of the months. And they know they out of order, but they don't say shit. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that they would call the day Jesus Good Friday, and they won't even, like something should be said about that. Like, goddamn, that ain't good. They didn't nail the man to the cross and he howling and crying and shit, and you call it Good Friday, unless the holiday was originated by his enemy. Now, if it was originated by his enemy, maybe the Jews created it. We're going to talk about that. But to all my family out there, I want y'all to, we're in the house. Yeah, we're in the house. We're going to come right back now. We're going to come right back. I want y'all to hit up some of them links in the chat. Hit that subscribe button. Click, get a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it, and I'll be right black. All right. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.